A newborn to the family is a joyous time, but what if, because of social distancing, grandparents, aunts, uncles, or even good friends can't celebrate with you?
Yeah, same goes for other once-in-a-lifetime moments like graduations, weddings, funerals. There are milestones that are getting missed and making people really profoundly sad.
Yeah. So how do you handle the sense of loss and missing out?
Well, we have called in an expert, life coach and regular PTL contributor, Marlene Boaz, for some advice. Thank you so much for being here, Marlene. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Hopefully bring people some ideas to help them cope.
Well, you know, one of the stories that we heard, and it's just so heartbreaking, a grandfather, he's passing away in the hospital in Newcastle of COVID-19, and some relatives are not able to visit with him. I mean, how do you get past things like that?
Well, that's really, really difficult. I have a son who's a physician in New York City, and so he's been sort of aware of the front lines when that happens. One of the things to do is make sure with the people you love, you say whatever you need to say and make sure they know how much you care about it ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you offset any regret, you know, that you might not be able to be there or say whatever you'd like to say. So that's a really important thing to do.
Yeah, Marlene, and I know you always talk about being creative. I mean, we've seen drive-by parades and virtual celebrations. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think when we are all here doing the social isolation and in our homes, we have seen so much creativity because we have time and we have a need to connect and find ways to make life as normal as possible in this abnormal sense. And so these drive-by parades, you know, some people are postponing their weddings, some are doing it just them and live streaming it. There are so many things we can do to connect, and I think our connections are getting stronger in some ways because we're deprived of the physical connection.
I think you're right, Marlene. I think we're connecting more through technology and different ways that we're able to do that. You know, you talk about building resiliency, and this seems to be one of those moments in life where we need to do that. But how do you do that?
Well, I say this is, you know, none of us signed up for this, but this is a master class in resiliency. And we can develop resiliency, and we can help others develop it, you know, the people around us. And resiliency is that ability to bounce back and adapt to crisis or traumas. And so there are ways to do it. One thing is to change the narrative. Now, when you miss a life event, you're going to be sad, you're going to have feelings of disappointment, and that's normal, and that's okay to experience them and to feel them. But then, as David, as you said, to mourn and then move on. Now, you might take 2 steps forward and 1 back, and that's okay too. But you really want to change the narrative. So instead of missing out, think about what brought the person to that point, to that experience. If it's a graduation, you know, what has that child done through the 12 years, or if it's college or medical school or whatever it is. And you could write, if you wrote your thoughts about what you've watched them do over the course of their life, what a gift that would be to present to them. Or marriages. If a couple can get through this challenging time of figuring out to do with a wedding, you know, in terms of canceling it, friends, what do we do? If they can navigate this, they're probably on a good trajectory for their life being married.
Yeah, that's very true. And what a nice idea of writing them and putting down and writing how you feel, because you probably wouldn't say that in person. So I just love that idea. Marlene, you always make us feel better. We appreciate it. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
You too. All right, board-certified life coach Marlene Boaz and regular PTL contributor. Look for more of her helpful advice on Marlene's website.